Yup. It's your boy Boss, man. All right, man. I'm bringing you another one. It's gonna be a good one too. Spend some time on this, reflecting, thinking, and we gonna break it down. Because we got some good news. It's good news. It's real good news. We got some ideas that's in the building. Some ideas that we've been wanting in the building for a while. Alright, we got confirmation that at least the concept is in the building. So I know a lot of y'all kind of thinking, what you talking about? Boss! I'm gonna give it to you, man. You know, I give y'all that sauce. Yeah, man, we gonna give you all that sauce. Because the sauce and the word is Mike McCarthy versus Kellen Moore. Yes, indeed. It's a versus. It's a versus, man. And it's a versus that's important to the future. Our contention. Can we do something in 2022? It's gonna really come down to, can Mike McCarthy win this war? Y'all hear me? Telling you the truth. I'm gonna break this all the way down too, man. We gonna get it all the way in there. Make it just clear as day. Y'all give me a second, man. Let me get this plane going. The Millennial Falcon. Be right back. Man, hit them like, let's go. Let's go. Yo, it's Boss, the OC. Yo. Indeed, man. All right. Y'all already know, man. Getting things kicked off. The Boss Cowboy Hour. We freestyling. Yeah. We see y'all in the building, man. The straight 8 business. Yes, indeed, man. And whoo-wee. It's good news. It's good news, man. I know a lot of people like, dang, what you talking about? It's some real good news that's going on. And we go kind of go through it today. We go through it. First, I see a lot of y'all in the building. Always welcome to BossCowboySports, where your voice matter. I'm going to get right into the content. Then as I go, I'm going to greet the chat. That way, you know, when people revisit this, they go get the content early. Also, as you come in the door, it's polite to hit that like, especially those who already know how we try to bring it here at Boss Cowboy Sports. Y'all know we gonna really try to give you the facts. We gonna try to give you that measured Kool-Aid. We take pride in that. It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink Kool-Aid without first measuring. Yep. So that's the anthem of Boss Cowboy Sports. We don't drink Kool-Aid without first measuring. So the first thing we have to establish is that there is a difference between Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore. And there's a difference in philosophy. And it's because of the pressure that's being put on Mike. All right. So we go kind of make the whole case today. Like, so you got to stay from the beginning to the end or it will get away from you. All right. If you miss any part of this, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to stop and go all the way back to the beginning. Just keeping it real. Because we go build this case like it's so it's real clear what's going on. Because there's pressure being put on Mike. So I'm gonna establish that. And then once we establish that, we got to talk about the difference between Mike McCarthy's offensive philosophy and Kellen Moore's, because there's a certain fight of offensive philosophy that's going on between Hall of Famers, former greats with the Dallas Cowboys, and our front office, and it's real. So a lot of people not even paying attention to this. You're not even hearing about this pretty much nowhere else. It's not a lot of people that's been keeping up with this enough to even explain this. So I'm gonna explain it. We go take this step by step, and we go just break this down so it's real clear what the dilemma is. All right, so let's start from Bobby Belt, and we go from there. Here we go.
Do you feel like McCarthy's going to be a little bit more involved in the offense, or maybe has he been this offseason, that kind of thing, because there is so much pressure and he's like, all right, I need to get my hands in this thing?
I mean, that's been the discussion, right? Like, that's kind of what Jerry's hinted at. Mike's talked a little bit about that. I will say, I know I brought this up when we were out there at rookie minicamp. He was more actively involved, it looked like, in coaching drills than I've ever seen him before. And was actually out there, it looked like he stopped down a drill at one point and was trying to coach something specific. And I've never seen him do that in 2.5 years that he's been here. So, I think whether he wants to be or not, I think the Cowboys want him to be more involved in it. And I think they want to have some more tangible aspects that they can judge him by. It's like, hey, your job's on the line here, your future's on the line. Let's see what it is you can do. We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's absolutely possible he's got more involved, and I still think this is ultimately Kellen Moore's offense. But
let me pause it right there. So first of all, listen real close to what they were saying. They want him more involved so that they can judge him. They was basically like, what do you do? Which is to a degree an insult, because it's a lot of good things that came from Mike McCarthy. How we finished up the season, even with Mike Nolan, was good under Mike McCarthy. It was a very good tail end of the year. Put it like this: the Dallas Cowboys with backup quarterbacks won more games than Deshaun Watson did with the Houston Texans under Mike McCarthy, and I would say that was good. And then going into the next season, we was the most healthiest team going into the playoffs. That was under the load management of Mike McCarthy. So to even have a tone of what do you do is disrespecting what he does. Just keeping it real. So they saying they want him more involved, right? But notice the key thing that Bobby Belt said at the end. You can't let that go by you. Listen, real close to what he said. Listen.
So I think it's absolutely possible he's got more involved, and I still think this is ultimately Kellen Moore's offense. But
hold on. So think about that. My future is dependent on another man. This is Kellen Moore's offense, but you, Mike McCarthy, is going to be held accountable for his offense. They saying we want you more involved, but this offense still belongs to Kellen Moore. See, that sets up a rift. It's a natural rift between them that Mike McCarthy has to manage through dysfunction. That creates a natural tension and a versus, especially when it's starting to come out. There are two different philosophies if you pay attention, if you watch it close. So let me just ask you a question. if you was working for a company and they say, hey, we want you to be the boss, but you got to work with this guy. We're assigning him to you, and we're going to judge you and your future based on him. What would you think? Because I would tell you what I would think, right? If my future and how you go judge me, but somebody else is doing the work. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, man. This is sabotage. Like, how you go literally be like, I'm gonna be judged even though Kellen Moore's in charge of the offense? Well, then he should be judged. Don't that just make sense? Come on, if we just use our common sense, shouldn't he be judged? All right. So I'm setting up to where you can see, based on Bobby Belt and based on the differences of philosophy, the schism or difference in division that's automatically set up. And it's from front office. See, one of the wisest things that came out of Boss Cowboy Sports came from the OC. The OC had the best saying on Kellen Moore. You know what he called him? Y'all get ready. I think this was a perfect analogy. He called him a Trojan horse. I think that's the perfect analogy of what Kellen Moore is. He's a Trojan horse. And poor Mike McCarthy, he has to manage through it. Yeah. So now they saying we want you to do something on the offense because we gotta have something to judge you by, even though you're not in control of the offense. So the only thing Mike McCarthy has left is to actually talk about the differences between him and Kellen Moore's philosophy. So let's just keep listening. Hopefully everybody kept up with that because I explained a lot. But we go keep going. And let's keep listening to Bobby Belt, and then we go talk about the differences of philosophies. We go make that real clear, and then we go talk about why Mike McCarthy is right and why we need to be rooting for Mike McCarthy and his vision.
So I think it's absolutely possible he's got more involved, and I still think this is ultimately Kellen Moore's offense, but I think that Mike McCarthy will have a bigger hand in it than he has the first 2 years.
Bobby Belt with us here in the G-Bag Nation.
So what's the difference? Let's talk about it. What's the difference between, because I haven't even revealed the difference in thoughts. I'm going to show that at the end, so you got to stay to the end. Why is Mike McCarthy different than Kellen Moore? I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to show you later. The difference is Mike McCarthy believes in matchups. Kellen Moore believes in systems. Okay? He believes his offensive system is the key to the offense, versus Mike McCarthy believes in matchups. Because they putting the pressure on him. And they saying, okay, what's the difference between you and Kellen Moore? And he's starting to come out and say matchups. You're starting to hear matchup terminology come from him that you're not hearing from Kellen Moore. But the problem is somebody else that believes in that system philosophy, and it's Stephen Jones. Okay, but I'm gonna show you Mike McCarthy with his matchup terminology. Coach Moore sent this to me, and we're gonna just explain it. All right, so let me first, give me a second to set this up. Let me show y'all Kellen Moore and his philosophy and how he thinks, and then we go break this down to Stephen Jones and his philosophy and what he thinks, and we go talk about the difference between systems versus matchup philosophy. It's very important that y'all stay with this, because you're not hearing this nowhere else. You're not hearing this, I promise you. You're not hearing this nowhere else. You're not. All right? So it's going to be up to the people that follow Boss Cowboy Sports, that been keeping up, and that also believe in what the Hall of Famers are saying. It's going to be up to us to spread this, share this, put this content out there, because you're not really hearing this. We got to get this to catch fire. That's our job, because we got to explain it so clear to where you can't deny it. But then we want other people to copy the thought, because I don't care about getting the credit. I want the thought out there to back Mike McCarthy and his philosophy. So check this out. This is the system philosophy. Listen.
You mentioned how the Chargers were kind of taking away the deep passing game Yeah. What's the balance of, as an offense, you obviously want to take what the defense gives you, but is there some level at the same time you don't want to let the defense dictate where you attack them?
Yeah. Aggressively take what they give us.
That's the philosophy right there. And he said aggressively take what the defense gives us. And see, this is the issue. He was, look, Michael Gehlken was trying to tell him, he was basically trying to tell him, Kellen, you are allowing the defense to dictate your offense. Is there a balance with that? And his answer was, with a smile, we aggressively take what the defense gives us. That's a system philosophy. So the ball goes where the defense dictates. So if the defense shows a double on Amari Cooper, the ball is going likely to a role player.
Yoga, fire, yoga, flame.
That's the system philosophy. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm going to replay it for the people in the back that might have missed it, because you got to understand this. Because when you understand this, you go see the difference, and you go see the fight that's happening between the Hall of Famers front office, now Mike McCarthy, now fighting for matchup football. Listen, y'all, man, you ain't hearing this nowhere else. I'm going to play it again. Here it is.
You mentioned how the Chargers were kind of taking away the deep passing game.
Yeah.
What's the balance of, as an offense, you obviously want to take what the defense gives you?
He said, what's the balance? What's the balance of taking what the defense gives you?
But is there some level at the same time you don't want to let the defense dictate where you...
Is there some level to you don't want the defense to dictate where the ball is going? Excellent question by Michael Gehlken.
Attack them?
Yeah. Aggressively take what they give us.
With a smile. So am I lying? Am I making it up? Is this conspiracy? He telling you. He telling you. Like Michael Gehlken gave him a reason and gave him a, he was like explaining, but like, I get what you're doing, but is it always smart to run a offense like that? Basically, Kellen was like, yeah. So then let's run it by the boss man. Let's look what the boss man is saying, and we go put it together. That's why I say you can stay with this one. If you missed any part of this video, rewind it. Because we building. You gotta, because a lot of people new. We got a lot of new subscribers. People that been with us been on this. Because we've been harping on this. But for the new people, y'all ain't heard this system philosophy versus matchup philosophy. This is new to a lot of people. So, but we go prove it today, and we showing way more proof than I've ever have on this video. Because usually I mention it, I'm gonna show you like hands down. It's undeniable after this show. But listen to the boss man talking about that same philosophy. Listen.
So I think it's more of a system deal. It wasn't a thing where we just said, hey, we're not going to target Amari as much.
Is that the right system? On the system, then
oh, hold on. Let me rewind it.
Financial, you're not getting...
Hold on. Let me rewind it. Because I started where he was saying system. I'm looking at y'all comments.
Back to the decision ahead on Amari, his usage, not just production, but in terms of how often he was targeted, even when he was on the field, it was down. What do you make of his relative lack of involvement, especially for someone who's got the contract of a #1 wide receiver?
I just think it's an offensive philosophy.
It's a what? Let me rewind that. Why didn't Amari get the ball? Why didn't the guy that should generate the matchups, why didn't he get the ball? Huh? Let's see.
Especially for someone, who's got the contract of a #1 wide receiver.
I just think it's an offensive philosophy.
That same offensive philosophy that Kellen Moore was talking about. That you obviously cool with. That you obviously co-signing, Steven. Yeah. But guess what? We go show that Mike McCarthy is not. That's what you go get on Boss Cowboy Sports today. You go see today that Mike McCarthy is not for this.
And with, when we had the skilled players that we had, between Kellen and Dak, I think there was a progression of, where you threw the ball. And depending on how the defense played you.
Depending on how the what played you? Hold on, let me put on these. Let me put on these. These are called clear out views. I can see so clear. And I'm telling you so clear. You heard it from Kellen. You're hearing it from Stephen Jones. That the defense is dictating where the ball is going with the system philosophy. Huh? Yeah. Kellen said it with a smile. Stephen Jones co-signed it. Huh?
It would point the ball to, to certain places where, hey, if they're going to double over here and they're going to double over the top over here, then that's going to dictate that the ball goes here. So I think it's more of a system deal. It wasn't a thing where we just said, hey, we're not going to target Amari as much.
Yoga, fire! Yoga,
flame! All right, so that is the system philosophy. All right? So y'all got to know I'm not making this up. Like, I'm not doing this because I lack content. I can talk about a lot of football. And listen, it's not even in my best interest to talk about this, to be honest, because the video numbers that do better for Boss Cowboy Sports are the concept videos where we breaking down players. But because I love this team, I'm going to stop and I'm going to talk about the real problems and the real risks that's going into 2022. This is the real risk. And there's a real division of thought. I'm going to prove that, but you got to stay all the way to the end. You got to stay out or you going to miss what I'm saying. I'm building the case right now. So you first had to see from Bobby Belt, case one, that they basically trying to come at Mike McCarthy like, we need you to establish your value. But we're going to judge you through Kellen Moore. That is the impossible mission that they putting on Mike McCarthy. That's number one. Number two, what you needed to see, which we just went through, is the system philosophy. You have to understand it. So once you understand what the system philosophy is, where the defense determines where the ball goes, now you can understand the issues that our Hall of Famers have with it. Okay? So now we finna get to point 3. All right? So stay with Boss Cowboy Sports, man. I'm trying to walk you all the way through this so that when y'all share this content, we all on the same page. When you having your water cooler debates, we all on the same page. When you trying to figure out what was the breakdown of our offense, we all on the same page. We're not making it up. We're not doing blame game. We talking real X's and O's football. All right? So this is one of the best examples of somebody explaining the problem with the system philosophy. That's also a Hall of Famer, because I've shown many times and quoted that these guys was against it. The Hall of Famers, Aikman, Irvin, Emmit, Jimmy Johnson. I quoted it. I always said, today I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. It's undeniable. Okay, so let's go to Troy. So looking at Troy, this was Troy after the San Francisco game. And Troy said Troy Aikman slams Cowboys for CeeDee Lamb's role in wild card loss to the 49ers. And he basically said the game is not that difficult. We got us a super chat. Let me take that real quick. Hold on real quick. Let me go back up to that super chat. Here we go. All right, let me see. Hold on. Let me get my head out the way. All right. He said, I got shanked by the butter knife. Boss, 10-second pause, and y'all hit them likes. Right, man. Y'all better hit them likes, bro. We giving y'all that sauce today, man. Y'all getting that pure, unadulterated fire. Take a pause. You right. Hold on. Let's take a quick pause, because I do get it. I get it. People watching Boss Cowboy Sports from a lot of different places. And then they'll get caught up in the content. Like I always talk about this, man. You get caught up eating. You know, you sitting there, you've been watching, you sitting there sneaking and watching Boss Cowboy Sports. Some of y'all watching us from the car, and you forget to hit the simple like, you gotta hit that like, because y'all already know we giving y'all that sauce today. So before we get going into the meat of this, because now I'm getting ready to get into the meat of this. That was just the appetizer, what we talked about. Now I'm getting ready to get into the meat. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, because that's one thing that's gonna grow this content and go put that content everywhere. And we need y'all to do y'all part. If y'all already seeing where I'm going on this, my boy say boss with them transitions, bro. I'm just keeping it real, bro, because I know how it is, big dog. I do. I know people get caught up. I do that when I be watching YouTube, man. I'll be watching it. It'll be good. It'll be so good, I'll forget to hit that like, man. Just hit that like real quick. You was right on that. Going back to what I was saying with Aikman. All right. So with Aikman and what was going on is he was talking about the philosophy of the Dallas Cowboys, right? And he was basically saying the game is not that difficult. All right, so y'all get them likes up, and then let me get going back into this content. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger as I break this down. All right, so we got to get to where we can see this. All right, so this is what Mr. Aikman was talking about. I'm gonna just read it. He said, Troy Aikman knows a thing or two about winning with a star wide receiver, capturing 3 Lombardi trophies during an 11-year run alongside Michael Irvin in Dallas. And the legendary former Cowboys quarterback isn't happy with the way America's team use, or rather misuse, #1 target CeeDee Lamb in the club's wildcard loss to the 49ers. So joining 96.7 The Ticket on Wednesday, Aikman suggested the Cowboys hurt themselves, all right, by overthinking Lamb's role in the postseason. You could also say the same thing happened with Pollard. For real. Y'all, don't get me started on that. So this is his direct quote. And y'all stay with me on this. He said there was a lot of single coverage on CeeDee Lamb. This is his quote. So this is a quarterback that's looking at the game. Are you telling me, real quick before I continue reading, are you telling me he don't know how to read a defense? He don't know how to recognize when there's one-on-one coverage? And he was looking at it and he was saying the Dallas Cowboys are not exploiting it. That obvious mismatch. It's one-on-one and they're not doing anything about it in the playoffs. This is Troy Aikman, y'all. This is not Boss Cowboy. It's me, but look who's backing what I'm saying. He said, he said there was a lot of single coverage on CeeDee Lamb. Aikman said, I hate going back to when I was playing because nobody cares. He was being humble right there. We greatly care what you say, big dog. He said, but what I see around the league is not just Dallas. So he talking about Dallas. So once he said it's not just Dallas, he pointing at Dallas and he's also pointing at Kellen Moore. You got to understand that. He said, I've seen it with a lot of teams. A lot of these offenses want to scheme things. The coordinators, it's all about scheme rather than, this is his quote, y'all. The corner is playing soft. He's scared to death. Just run the route tree, run a comeback, run a dig route, run a curl, run anything. You're going to complete that pass whenever you want. Aikman continued, Michael Irvin would have had 10 catches at halftime if they played us the way they played CeeDee Lamb in that game. That's when he said the game is not that difficult. That's where the quote came from.
Yoga fire.
If I've got a great player at wide receiver and a corner's playing him in single coverage, throw him the ball. He's going to win most of the time.
Yoga fire.
This is the problem with system philosophy. Like he say, overthinking it. It's not that difficult. It's matchups. That's what he's saying. It's matchups. So that's Aikman, right? So let's continue. Let's look at the playmaker. And I got all these links in the description. Every one of them. Listen at the playmaker.
Is that our offense is antiquated, because they want somebody to be designing more schemes to get people open, as opposed to what we were just talking about, allowing your man to beat somebody with timing. Now, I put a lot of what happened with Dak on Kellen Moore.
On who?
Well, on Kellen Moore.
Hold on. Let me.
Timing. Now, I put a lot of what happened with Dak on Kellen Moore. With timing. Now, I put a lot of what happened with Dak on Kellen Moore. On Kellen Moore. Is that our offense is antiquated,
Well, what does Jimmy Johnson have to say? Let me see.
CeeDee Lamb just wasn't utilized enough. Like in the last game that they lost, he was only targeted a couple of times. You got one of the more exciting receivers in the entire league, and you don't target it. You throw to a tight end that's going to give you 10 yards.
Wait, just 1 minute. Did he just say, hold on, let me.
You got one of the more exciting receivers in the entire league, and you don't target it. You throw to a tight end that's going to give you 10 yards.
Wait. Was we just talking about that on the final word? Was we just talking about?
Yoga, fire. Yoga, fire. Yoga, flame.
Huh? Let me go back. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Or am I hearing what I think I'm hearing from Hall of Famers? Are they saying the same thing at the same time about the same person? Or am I not drinking Kool-Aid right now that's measured? I think my cup is full of measured Kool-Aid. What you guys think? Put some flames in the chat if I'm drinking this in a measured fashion, or is this conspiracy? Let me go back. So was we hating on Schultz when we was talking about he was dump off king? Or was we talking real football? Huh? Or was we really concerned about what could hurt this team? Huh?
Yoga, fire. Yoga, flame.
I see the yoga flame, so I think y'all agree.
Yoga, fire.
I see the yoga flames. I think you guys agree. But let's go back. Let me go back to, because I think he was saying some real stuff.
So there were some issues, especially there, in that last ball game.
Yeah.
Some issues. Guys, I got some news for you. It don't get no better, because if you really want to hear somebody really break it down, we got to take it to another Hall of Famer. Oh, y'all lighting it up. I can't even keep up with the yoga flame.
Yoga, fire. Yoga, fire. Yoga.
Ooh, wait, man, y'all lighting it up.
Yoga, fire.
Yeah. So check it out. This is Emmit. Listen to Emmit.
I thought we
hold on. Let me rewind. Let me get it all the way. And all these sources and links are in the description. Listen.
I looked at what we did. I thought we offensively tried to feature some guys that we went away from our playmakers.
Oh, we did what?
And that,
hold on. Wait. Whoa. Wait. Did I hear that right?
I looked at what we did. I thought we offensively tried to feature some guys that we went away from our playmakers. And that's not what you should do. That's why I'm questioning some of the things that transpired.
We see both these teams here at the Super Bowl. It's so easy for them to feed the ball to Cooper Kupp,
right,
Odell, even Chase. Why is it so hard for Dallas to be able to feed the ball to CeeDee and Amari?
Wait. I can't.
Creativity.
Hold on. Wait. Let me go back.
Cooper Kupp,
Right.
Odell, even Chase. Why is it so hard for Dallas to be able to feed the ball to CeeDee and Amari?
Creativity. Or the lack thereof.
The lack.
When you have quality wide receivers like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup at the time, Wilson, and others, you create matchup issues by moving them all around. They should be able to run.
Wait, what happens? Hold on. You create what? You create matchup issues. That is the fight. That's the fight. It's what philosophy causes the matchup issues. You got Mike McCarthy versus Kellen Moore, offensive philosophy, matchups versus systems. And you hearing all these Hall of Famers, what is the common theme that they all talking about? Can we say it all at the same time? Matchups. Creating matchup problems and getting the ball to your best players intentionally. Let me put on my crowd views on that. Hold on real quick. We got us a super chat, so let me take that real quick. I'm not saving them super chats today. Coach said, boss, if Kellen did that in the playoff game with Jimmy, he would have been fired. Yeah, he would have been fired. Yes, he would have. Jimmy would have fired him as the OC. I definitely agree.
Yoga fire.
Definitely agree. Yeah, but we looking at a difference. This is a real difference, y'all. This ain't made up. We talking about two different philosophies: matchups versus systems. That's what we looking at. All right, and Stephen Jones wants the system. Kellen Moore is a yes man and a Trojan horse, and he's going to gladly abide. McCarthy wants to win. So I'm going to show y'all in just a second that Mike McCarthy is team Emmitt Smith, Jimmy Johnson, Michael Irvin, Aikman. Yeah, we got us another super chat. Let me take this super chat real quick. I'm taking them as they come in today. I usually storm, but he said, they all call Kellen Moore by name, not just scheme.
Yoga fire.
They sure did. They called him by name, big dog. They sure did. Yeah. And so, and people that's loyal to the Dallas Cowboys are calling this out. That's why I'm so shocked that it's so quiet around social media. You're not hearing a lot of my YouTube brothers talk about this. It's a few. I know my boy Sky talk about this, but we need more than Sky. We need everybody talking about this. We need all of us saying this at the same time, at the same voice, until it catches fire. Because this dilemma could kill 2022. We got us another fat super chat. Let me take this super chat real quick. He said, flowers to the final word last night, coming even harder today, my boy. Man, I appreciate it, big dog.
Yoga fire.
Ooh, Keystone. Whoa. I think this is the comment of the day. The front office is the system.
Flame.
Facts. That's why that's why I'm being honest. To a degree. Shit. How is Mike McCarthy gonna be judged on Kellen Moore when he don't control Kellen Moore? Huh? And I'm gonna show you which side Mike McCarthy on in just a minute. Cause it's two sides. It's team matchups and it's team schemes. And when you team matchup, what you're really saying is I believe in my playmakers over my X's and O's to the point I'ma always try to find ways to feature my playmakers. Scrooges try to feature the play caller. Yeah, that's the key difference. But let me go back real quick because we gotta really understand the differences. We got us another super chat. Let me take that real quick. Appreciate y'all super chats, man. He said, keep on addressing the real problems, boss. Hell yeah. We got to be. We got to. And keep sharing the content, everybody. Because y'all growing the channel. The channel is growing. And it's because of y'all. But we got to stay diligent. We got to hammer with facts. We can't just ease up. We can't just, we talked about it. We're not going to talk about it no more. That content is out the way. No, we going to keep repeating this whole offseason. We going to do it so much, y'all going to get tired of it. But if this is the number one problem, why should we stop talking about it? Obviously, we're going to talk about everything, but I see this as the biggest hindrance to our Super Bowl chances. Do y'all hear me?
Yoga fire.
Do y'all hear me? You know what I'm saying? And if you hear me, you should be down to share this content for the cause by making your voice matter. That's what you got to do, big dog.
Yoga fire.
That's just what you got to do.
Flame.
And then if you ain't hit that like yet and you've been sitting here getting this content and you know we telling the truth with verification of the facts, you got to do your part. You do. Don't just sit on this. You got to share it. Go put this in some groups. Go share, send this to different people. Send this to Will McClay. Send this to, shoot. Put it out there. That's what we got to do, man. That's just what we got to do. Just period. That's us showing loyalty to the Cowboys by telling the truth to the Cowboys, right? Because I know they believe what they believe, but I think it's a big risk in what Stephen Jones believes with Kellen Moore. It's a big risk, and I think that's one of the main reasons we got knocked off. But Tariq say Stephen Jones don't care what we talk about. Yeah, he do. Tariq, he greatly care what we talk about. So does Jerry. And see, I'm gonna tell you why. Why do you think he got on after the draft and started talking about Lindenbaum? Why? Why do you think he resold Tyler Smith as the pick to the point he up there slipping, showing the whole draft list? Look, y'all, he really was ranked over Tyler Lindenbaum. Oh, he did that because we don't matter? No, we matter. And so he knew it was a big groundswell of hype on Tyler Lindenbaum. So he wanted to reassure us that Tyler Smith was a better pick. You only do that when we matter. But if you believe we don't matter, we won't matter. And you won't do nothing. You'll just listen to this content. You won't like it. You won't share it. You won't do anything to push the trends. But if you know we matter, you're going to be active. You're going to be putting this content in groups. You're going to be hashtagging. You're going to be working your voice. You're going to be like Coach Marv, who don't take none of his ideas for granted. He go super chat to get his ideas in a show. He go call every football show. Coach Marv called every one of these shows to push his ideas. And guess what? You hear his ideas echoed. Yes, you do. It's a whole lot more running the ball because of people like West Coast and Coach Marv. Our voice do matter. For real. It matter. Okay, if our voice didn't matter, why Schultz blocked me? Huh? Because I did a video and then all of a sudden I look up and I'm blocked. Huh? Yeah. Because people listening. So we got to act like our voice matter. For real. And the way you act like your voice matters, you share this content. Or create a show. Or call in. Get your voice out there. Get your ideas out there. And I mean that. But going back to my boy. Listen.
At the time, Wilson and others, you create matchup issues by moving them all around. They should be able to run routes, and they should be interchangeable. I mean, we need to upgrade in our tight end position, to be honest with you. I don't think our tight ends were great pass blockers or run blockers. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to run the ball with Zeke and Pollard and so forth. Yes.
Yeah.
We needed that guy that can actually block and run pass routes at the same time. So no one can actually key on us when we're in certain situations.
Do y'all hear him talking this good football, man? Do y'all hear this? Or am I by myself? Did y'all hear him? And this is crazy. He talked about we need to upgrade at tight end, which is the same thing I said in the book. I said clear out the room. I said clear the whole room out. And he said we need somebody that can block as well as catch, so you can't key on what we doing based on personnel. He talking real straight up football. But what's crazy is who got the tag? Schultz. I can't, bro. See, because I lost 10 subs because I did a video calling him dump off king. We just telling the truth. The way that he use him is an exotic dump off king. That's just being honest on how the Cowboys use him. I lost 10 subs immediately, and I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth. But some people they got favorites, and they love what they think about a player, not the truth about a player. Yeah. And you got Emmit over here like, we need to upgrade them boys. It's the same thing I was saying. Now listen.
And I think offensively, we kind of got away from the main thing being the main thing. And they need to get their act together in terms of calling consistent plays that are giving our guys and doing the things that you talked about, creating ways for these guys to get the ball in their hands instead of the standard way of doing it. The creativity that I would expect from Kellen Moore needs to continue to evolve, and we need to take advantage of that.
God dog.
Yoga fire.
So, that's calling Kellen Moore out by name. These are Hall of Famers, y'all. All saying the same thing from different places. All of them saying the same thing from different places. Now, if you go listen to our front office, they checking Mike McCarthy. They church mouse quiet when it come down to Kellen Moore. They ain't saying nothing. That's telling you that they are full speed ahead on this philosophy. And it's one person that's trying to hold them back, who trying to do his job. Y'all want to see who it is? Huh? It's this guy. I'm finna prove it right now. I told y'all to stay at the end. Stay to the end. This is what I'm telling y'all. It's a schism. It's a division. It's a divide. It's not obvious. But if you've been keeping up with Boss Cowboy Sports and you've been paying attention to matchup philosophy versus system philosophy, you finna see it real quick, because there is a divide. And there's a major unfortunate ask of Mike McCarthy. My boy C say I'm late. Yeah, this one you gonna have to go rewind, dog, because I built this whole case. I built it from the bottom. But still, everybody that's coming in, you still go get some good meat. I'm getting ready to give y'all that sauce. But this is the truth. All right, because Coach Marv sent me this. All right. This is the key. When Jerry Jones was talking about CeeDee Lamb as an upgrade of Amari Cooper, right? The A part is what a lot of people focused on. Okay? But the real meat is the B part. That's the real meat. I'm finna show you. So the A part is where obviously they, talked about what Jerry said about Lamb being a potential better number one in CeeDee, right? But it's this B part, okay? So I'm gonna read this B part, and then it's gonna stand out what I'm talking about, okay? So it's a Lamb now enters the 2022 season as the clear primary receiver in Dallas. In addition to Cooper being gone, Michael Gallup, third in 2021 targets among Cowboys wide receivers, is still recovering from a torn ACL sustained in Week 17, while Cedric Wilson Jr., fourth in targets, has left in free agency for the Miami Dolphins. All right, here we go. This is the key part. As the Star Telegram describes it, Lamb will play the Jerry Rice role as the flanker in the head coach Mike McCarthy's West Coast offense. So that already gets your attention because you saying he's been getting ready to be used like Jerry Rice. Okay? So he said this is now Mike McCarthy's quote. This is a great opportunity for him personally, Mike McCarthy said. I think just the way we've established the offense, particularly in the passing game, the ability for those guys to play different positions, to create matchups. Where did we hear that? Huh? Where did we hear that? Let me see.
I looked at what we did. I thought we offensively tried to feature some guys that we went away from our playmakers. And that's not what you should do. That's why I'm questioning some of the things that transpired.
We see both these teams here at the Super Bowl. It's so easy for them to feed the ball to Cooper Kupp,
right,
Odell, even Chase. Why is it so hard for Dallas to be able to feed the ball to CeeDee and Amari?
Creativity, or the lack thereof creativity. When you have quality wide receivers like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup at the time, Wilson, and others, you create matchup issues by moving them all around. They should be able.
Wait, that's where I heard that.
Yoga fire.
I knew I heard this philosophy before. I heard it from Emmit, the same one that Mike McCarthy is talking about, particularly in the passing game, the ability for those guys to play different positions to create matchups.
Yoga fire.
Well, I be god darn. Well, I be god darn. Mike McCarthy, I'm rocking with you, big dog. I'm team Mike McCarthy in his verses. Because this verses is about our future. Yeah. Mike McCarthy versus Kellen Moore, offensive philosophy, matchups versus systems. We saw it. That's why I said you had to stay to the end. Because we built the whole case. We showed very clear who and what the system is, allowing the defense to dictate where the ball goes. That's a front office system, according to Keystone, which I agree with. And Kellen Moore is the Trojan horse that has been running that system. So what they did is they say, okay, show me your worth, Mike McCarthy. Show us what you believe, because we got to try to grade you. So what do you think we should do? If you think I'm lying, listen again.
On the line, let's see what it is you can do. We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's absolutely possible.
So we need you more involved, is what they said to Mike McCarthy. Do I need to rewind that again? I rewind it again. Listen.
We need you more involved so that we can judge you based off of some of these things. So I think it's absolutely possible he's got more involved, and I still think this is ultimately Kellen Moore's offense, but I think that Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. That's what we talking about today, y'all. Who is the person that's preaching the philosophy of matchups? Thank you, Coach Marv, for sending me this. See, because Coach Moore believe his voice matter. So Coach Moore be like, boss, hey, man, you got to go check out this article. I'm like, what is it? He like, man, Mike McCarthy talking about matchups. I ain't never heard of. I said, let me see. I said, send it to me. Man, Coach Moore sent me this. I read it. I said, boy, this B part is
Yoga fire.
And that's showing you Mike McCarthy is trying to get the power to make us better. But is he crippled by the dysfunction of front office installing a Trojan horse in his way? Is he crippled? Are we witnessing sabotage? Not intentional, but sabotage to where you got those oligarchs that's more trying to get their way versus letting Mike McCarthy run a team based on the philosophy that actually fits what he wants to do matchup wise. Am I making sense, or is this fluff? That's what it is. So we got us a super chat. He said 2019 Gary got fired for allowing Kellen Moore's system. Mike McCarthy not going out like that. He at least trying. He trying not to go out like that. But the problem is we got to be able to see it and call it out. Because I guarantee you a lot of people don't even see this dilemma. They think that we over here preaching conspiracy theories. They think we just kind of making stuff up for content, like we trying to get likes and subs by creating false drama. But obviously when you bring all the facts together and you look at all the quotes from all the Hall of Famers, it just really honestly look like we just telling the truth over here at Boss Cowboy Sports.
Yoga fire.
And Mike McCarthy is right. Mike McCarthy is right. This is if Kellen Moore come out with that system over Mike McCarthy wanting him to have a playmaker matchup philosophy, then let's just say what it is. He was sabotaged. Mike McCarthy was sabotaged by the Trojan horse because those oligarchs wanted who they wanted anyway. Sabotage. Just keep it real. Yeah, cause you telling him, tell us what makes you different. Tell us what's so special about you, Mike McCarthy. We need something to judge you by. Okay, this is what you judge me by. My philosophy is I want us to do more matchup football. I want to create more matchups. But will the guy that's over my offense do that? Because I'm not a system guy. I want to win, so I believe at targeting CeeDee Lamb a lot. Like Jerry Rice got targeted. Let me pull up Jerry Rice targets. Y'all know me. I ain't playing with this, man. Come on. Y'all already know me. Should I pull up Jerry Rice targets? I'm getting ready to pull up his targets right now. Here we go. Shoot, let's go. Jerry Rice. Stats. All right, here we go. Jerry Rice. Oh, come on, man. Y'all be patient. Y'all be patient. This is live. You know, hey, what my boy Law say, building planes while it's in air. That's what we do. I call it the Millennial Falcon because it's just complicated. All right. It's like flying, really, the Millennial Falcon. You know how they had all them bones? Yeah, somebody said like Hopkins. I see it. I do see it. That's why I say it is good news. That's why I started the show saying that it's real good news. I'm just trying to pull up Jerry Rice stats, his career stats. Okay, I think I got it. I just need to find his targets. Okay, I found it. Hold on. I don't have his targets. Why they not showing his targets, man? Y'all give me a second, man. My boy said, take your time. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to feel rushed. That'll mess me up. I want to get y'all this info, man. Cause see, when you saying imagine him being used like Jerry Rice, that's real. So I gotta look. I got it. Boop! Your boy pulled it up. You know I got you. All right, so let's go look at it. So we got his targets right here. Let me put my head on here. Hold on, y'all. Oh, y'all give me a sec. I need to sneeze. All right, here we go. All right, looking at these targets. So the targets that we seeing when they started recording targets is around 1992. So Jerry Rice, this is also when he was rivaling us, okay, the Dallas Cowboys. He was getting 139, 153, 151. His high was 176 as a target. That's the vision that Mike McCarthy has for CeeDee Lamb. Okay. So somebody said Hopkins. So let's pull up Hopkins because I agree. I think Hopkins need to be the target for CeeDee Lamb. So let me go to DeAndre Hopkins and look at how he's used target-wise. So his first 2 years, he was with Andre Johnson, just like CeeDee Lamb was with Amari Cooper. And then when Andre Johnson left and went to the Colts, that's when the new number one became Hopkins, and they exploded in terms of targets and using him. 192, that's a ridiculous amount of targets going at Hopkins, but they obviously force-fed him the ball. So I don't see us, especially being a running team, targeting CeeDee Lamb that much. I see CeeDee Lamb as a proper number one, getting between 151 and 174. I think that's the ideal way to really target the number one. But I just want to look at it so I can get my imagination around what Mike McCarthy is saying. He said the Jerry Rice role. My boy said, come on, boss, pull up Owens. I can't pull up Owens because they didn't quote Owens. I can pull up stats on anybody, and I'm not just pulling up stats for stats' sake. I'm looking at stats that's fitting what Mike McCarthy is saying he envisioned. That's what I want to pull up to y'all. I want to pull up who he said so I can get a range of how he envisioned using him. Let's take some calls. All right, so we gonna open up the phone lines. We said we freestyling, so let's get it. So we got the phone lines going. Y'all give me a second. My allergies tripping. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Big homie, what's good, man?
What's up with it?
Man, it's Renell, man.
What's going on? Let me turn you up. Go ahead.
And all is well in the world, bro. How you been?
Good, man. Good. What you got, big dog?
So check it out. We have the battle of the Trojan horse versus the scapegoat. Bruh. It is a vicious cycle. It is history constantly repeating itself. Bruh. Jason Garrett, the Wade Phillips, right? Got him up out of there. Kellen did it to Jason Garrett, and now you're trying to do it again with Mike, man. Like it keeps repeating itself, and what we're seeing with these players is also a vicious cycle, man.
Yeah, it is.
You manipulate the narrative for whoever it is that you want to get put out. So you're going to denigrate them. You're going to throw mud on their name. You're going to muddy them up. And they start early. They don't just do it like right before they about to happen. They prep you all along, at least a year or two ahead of time. Like, we being prepped for Zeke right now and possibly Pollard. And honestly, you're actually getting prepped for CeeDee. He really don't know it, but you know, when they interviewed him after OTAs, he was talking about accepting the number one role, etc., whatever. I wanted to tell that young man, enjoy it, bro, because it ain't going to last long, because in another year, they're going to be talking about how you ain't the dog and you ain't the number one. They already whispering it now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the next person of who we going to use to push Lamb out the way because we don't want to pay him. They keep doing this thing over and over again. And you say it a lot of times. You said this has a smell to it, right?
Yeah.
And I recall you saying earlier, you used the word manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the first couple of letters of the word manipulate, you know what it smells? You know what it spells out?
What?
Man, I P-U, which means man, I stink. Stephen Jones stinks. He has a smell to him. He has a body odor. Everything he touches stinks. Manipulate. Man, I P-U. That's him. Jerry don't smell like that.
Yeah.
Jerry got good hygiene.
Yeah.
It's Steven, man. It's the same thing, and it's like none of this is shocking to me. And even in what I saw, I read an article for what is it? The Telegram, the Dallas Telegram,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about Dalton Schultz, and they were talking about the contract situation, and in that article, they were talking about, Dak's contracts getting more expensive, and then it's the same kind of things that we heard as far as it related to Dak getting his money, or D-Law getting his money, or Randy Gregory getting his money. Well, we're gonna have to pay, Diggs in a couple years, CeeDee Lamb, and then they just started going down a list of all these people we got to pay in addition to Dak's contract getting more expensive. So you already going ahead and you throwing it out there. They're doing a soft opening for a grand closing.
Yoga fire.
That's what they do. That's what they do. It's redundant. We're seeing it over and over again. And honestly, that's why they're selective as far as who they make their leaders, because they don't want their leaders to actually lead. They want their leaders to follow. So you're very selective about the type of coach you bring in. You're very selective about the OC that you bring in, and your DC and your players. You want dogs, but you don't want a pit bull. You want a Chihuahua. But I still got a dog, right? It don't work like that. But man, that's all I got, bro. I'm gonna clear the line so you can keep rolling with it, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Good call.
All right, man. Hold it down.
Yeah, I wasn't even rushing the homie. Shoot. But hey, he killed it. Let me call Coach real quick. Let me call Coach. Because Coach the one that sent me this, man. Hold on real quick. Shoot. See, because Coach voice matter. Dak on it. Shoot. Coach like, my voice matter. And his voice do matter. For real. Hold on real quick. Coach, man, give me a second, man. And y'all give me a second. All right. Here we go. This freestyle, so everything ain't perfect when it's free. All right, here we go. Get what you pay for. All right, let me call Coach, man. I'm going to keep taking calls, though. I ain't going to just jump off. I'm Team Mike McCarthy.
Oh, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Coach? You VIP today. You VIP. Let me shut up. What you got?
Yeah, man. Great show as always again, brother.
Appreciate it.
I think the Cowboy fans, some of them get kind of confused because they say we are number one offense in scoring and a number one offense in yards, and we start looking at the numbers of our rankings. Yeah. But I really want the Cowboys to focus on all the big games in the last 2 years.
Right.
The games that everybody was really tuned in, they were either
championship games, to get in the playoffs, or a big matchup in the middle of the season with top-ranked teams, and everybody was calling he was a measuring stick. And this is what your thing is pointing out. In the bigger games, you must create matchups, and you must target your stars, because that's why you pay them the money for the bigger game. You know, this is. I said one time in the chat that I wanted Keller to understand that he was in the NFL and not at Boise State. Boise State had to use the scheme thing to take aggressively what the teams give, because when they played bigger games, they didn't have many dogs. So they had to try to get guys open and take what the teams were giving them. But Kellen, you're now in the NFL, and you got a collection of dogs, and you have to get them guys the ball, because they set the tone for the rest of the team. In my coaching career, when I was a head coach, and we had the offensive, the defensive coordinators come in for their game planning for the week. And this is where I think this affects Dak Prescott. The offensive coordinator usually gets with the quarterbacks, and he talks to the quarterbacks at the beginning of the week about where they're going to attack, what our game plan is going to be, before he even gives it to the whole team. Kellen's thinking of not using dogs is his problem. It's not his creativity. It's not his. I'm not saying creativity. It's not his philosophy to give dogs the big plays. That's why he answered that question in that press conference. He's like, well, aggressively take what the. And that's his thinking.
Yep.
And he transfers that thinking to his quarterback, because he's the first person that he talks to when he's setting the game plan.
Right.
And if you give your quarterback that mindset, he's just a coach on the field for you. This is where McCarthy has to sit in that meeting and change that mindset.
Right.
He has to change that mindset and say, no, we are just like football, just like basketball. You got a first option, second option, and third option. Your first options are your dogs.
Yep.
And everybody else eat after they eat.
Everybody eat after they eat. Can you say that again? I love when you say it, Coach. I want to say that everybody eat after the dogs eat first. God dog.
What'd you say? You say dog?
No, go. Keep going.
That's what I was saying about, they gotta eat. They gotta eat. And what Emmitt Smith said, I wanted to harp on what Emmitt Smith was saying, because he had the most fire of all the comments. When he was asked about why we couldn't get our players, our key players, the ball, and then he said creativity or lack of creativity. And know what he meant by that? Good offensive coordinators use creativity to design matchups so their stars can eat. So you can't take their players away from them. Didn't everybody know Jerry Rice was going to get the football? I'm quite sure everybody in the world knew Jerry Rice was going to get it. And the defense game plan for him.
Right.
But the creativity in the offense that San Francisco used got him in places where he was at an advantage over your players or your defensive scheme. So you couldn't take him away.
Right.
And if you over-exaggerated to take him away, other guys will get the ball, but they'll get the ball for big plays. That's what I want to see the second wide receiver get. Touchdowns. But not the possessions, not every we go out, our top receiver goes 2 or 3 possessions and not get the ball. So this is what Kellen needs to understand. Is he young? Is Mike McCarthy going to have that ability to do that? But people, I want y'all to think about the bigger games. The bigger games is when this system gets exposed.
Yep.
When you play against bigger, that's why when we talk about, oh man, against winning teams, not just winning teams, we gonna beat winning teams, but this is the good point, and I'm gonna leave on this because this is good news.
It's great news.
Good point.
It's great news.
The reason why the offense is so productive and has the number one ranking and number one yards and has the attendance, the ability to be explosive, I don't care about what other teams are signing. We have a collection of talent here that is very, very good. But the coaching aspect is what's going to put this talent over the hump in the crucial situations. So Kellen has to understand that he's got dogs and let them eat. And if you go down with your dogs, you have no problem with saying, hey, I went down with my best players. Because Dan Quinn going to do that. So I hope this gets it out there and Mike McCarthy and his people is listening. And he understands that this year, I would go all out to do it my way. Because if I don't do it my way, I'm going to be on the street, and you cannot say, well, I didn't do it my way, and somebody else is going to hire you later on. Mike McCarthy, you have to understand this. You're a good coach, but if you don't do it your way in Dallas with this collection of talent, you will not get another job. So it's best to go out on your shield now and say, hey, I cannot have it this way. That's all that's what we're really trying to say here, boss. He put it out there. He has said, he's given hints about what he wants as his philosophy. I want to see Mike McCarthy input on this team, and if he is just a compromise to the way that he cannot put his input on this team, I would respect him even more if he just walk away.
Me too. Me too. And we would need him too. That's a good.
So this is on you. It's not on you, Mike McCarthy. I'm not going to say the whole season. I just want to see your input on this team, and I want to see your veteran leadership mentor this young coach into what he needs to be. And sometimes you got to be harder on him than you are on anybody else. And sometimes you got to humble him. Because if you don't, you're going to lose the respect of the players, and you're going to lose this team, and you're going to be out of the door this year. Boss, like I tell you, man, good job, man. And keep on working and doing all the film study and all that stuff, film study, videos, and research, because that what makes this show great. And when the haters come, they can't touch you because you got it backed up by words and film. I'll holler at y'all fellas later.
Man, sure appreciate that, Coach. Your coach is gold. Sure. You're a treasure to the Dallas Cowboy community. I wish we had 10 more people like him. If we had 1,000, we would take over the whole country. We just need 10 Coach Moores. That's all we need. That's all we need is 10 Coach Moores. But we got the phone lines open. If y'all want to call in, call. But you know, we spent this show talking about the dilemma that's going on with Mike McCarthy versus Kellen Moore. Now the good news is, like Coach Moore said, we now know that the philosophy is in the building. That's what we wanted. And yes, it is a divide. Yes, it is. Mike McCarthy, who is Team Emmitt Smith, Team Aikman, Team Michael Irvin on matchup versus system guys, which is Kellen Moore, versus Stephen Jones. But we got a guy that's on the right side. Boss Cowboy Sports.
What's going on, Key? Checking in.
Let's get it, Key. What you got, big dog?
Yeah. What I got on is when you were talking about the whole philosophy about the whole situation in Dallas, I'm like, what philosophy? It never was a philosophy. It failed for nearly 30 years. I mean, what is there to philosophize? That's like you can philosophize when you look at that. I'm like, come on, man. And then the way you doing it, because, you know, back even in the Witten years, I still believe the Joneses cost us our trip to the Super Bowl when the ball should have went to T.O., you forced it to Witten. So I'm like, we been had that issue back in the Witten years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We've been seeing the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's true.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I be seeing like philosophy. I'm like, come on, man. No philosophy. That's why I seen what I was saying earlier, man. Data system, point blank, period, man.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
They are. They the ones that's pushing this stuff down. That's what became clear to me this year. They pushing this down.
Yeah, even with your content when you was talking about CeeDee and Amari not getting the ball, I'm like, man, come on. Because in that Niners game, Coop should have been more involved.
All day. With these. Yeah. All day. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, the only thing we can do, Key, is keep pushing it out, bro. Because you're not hearing this in other places. You're not. You know what I mean? Very few. But yeah, Key.
You breaking up on me, boss.
No, go ahead. Go ahead what you were saying.
Oh, no, I was saying at first it was breaking up a little bit. That's what I was saying, yeah. But can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm just hoping going into the season, man, I just hope that we run the ball more, man. Now that we got Tyler, hopefully we'll just start running the ball more. That's really how I'm looking at it, man. The O-line is really going to be my concern going into the season. Because I've always been big on the O-line, man. Even back when I first started off, I always talked about the O-line. That was the formation. That was the formula back in the gridiron years when we was winning titles. That O-line, man, he was able to run that ball.
Yeah, bro. For sure. No, I'm with you. I'm just letting you go. I'm letting you go, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I got, fam.
Okay, fam. All right, man. That was Keystone, man. I appreciate it, man. That boy Keystone came in and blessed us with his knowledge on that. I want to talk about something real quick, and I still got the call lines open. I like this comment that came in. I want to address it. He said, I'm pulling for Kellen Moore to keep getting better. I hope for the best. Things might change for the better. Yeah, they could. They won't if we don't pressure him, because we see front office not putting no pressure on him. The pressure was coming from the Hall of Famers. That's who the pressure is coming from. It's not coming from front office. And when they spoke on it, they spoke about it once and they moved on. The people that got to keep talking about that is us. If we stop talking, then they will feel no need to change. But as long as we keep talking, at least they gonna know we see it. And the faster they know we see it, the more concerned they gonna be about us revolting against the foolishness of a system over playmakers. So he can get better. I think Kellen Moore is very smart, but I think he got somebody said Jabari I think this is a perfect comment. Kellen Moore's baby Garrett. That's what I fear. that thought right there. Is he's controllable. He's moldable. He's a yes sir boss type dude. See, Mike McCarthy has a little bit more pushback. He go push back on them Joneses. He go push back. But Kellen Moore is gonna be, okay, drive this system into a ditch, even though it don't work, he'll do it. Yes sir boss. And Kellen Moore from Boise State believes in it. Because it was the same type of everybody eat, the ball is distributed equally. That was the Boise State philosophy. So he believes in it. But can he change to a playmaker philosophy? He can. But like Coach Moore said, Mike McCarthy gonna have to have real authority to rein him in, to make him target his stars, to disapprove of game plan that don't feature stars. But does he have the power? I don't think so. Because what did Bobby Belt say? This is still Kellen Moore's offense. So you can tell him, I prefer us to go for matchups, but the guy that got the veto power is the Trojan horse. Mike McCarthy don't got the real power here. That's why at the end of the day, it is sabotage. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Hey, what's up, boss? It's B Burrow, man.
What's up, B? Let's get it.
Nothing much, man. Did I see that the Rams just signed Cooper Kupp to a big contract?
Yep, you saw that.
So I think they signed. Who's up they signed before that?
Ramsey.
I'm sorry, number 99, Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a couple things I didn't hear. I didn't hear nobody being thrown under the bus, and I didn't hear no whining from the front office saying, "Well, we got to pay this other person, so we can't pay this guy." And no, what those guys do, and I'm not saying that the Rams are a model franchise, but one thing that they do is they identify playmakers and people that can make a difference, and they sign them. Whether it's Jalen Ramsey, the quarterback. How many teams would have said to their young quarterback, "Nah, man, we're going to trade you for an older guy that's proven"? That's what they did, man. Those guys are all about winning. And then you hear Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones talk about, well, in 3 years down the line, we got to pay this guy. In 2 years, we got to pay. Man, look, the Rams are proving that y'all liars. You know, that's just what it is, man. And so this thing is kind of getting out of control, because I think what they're doing is they condition our fans to, you even hear fans echo this, well, we can't pay this guy, we can't get that guy because we got to pay that guy. Dude, get outside of this Dallas Cowboy bubble and understand that teams are paying players and they're trying to win now. We're just trying to maintain, we're just trying to be good.
Go ahead. Well, I ain't say nothing. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. And so we, you even look. Here's the deal. If I tell you Team A, and you got Team B, and the Rams are Team A with their acquisitions, and the Cowboys are Team B, well, you think that Team B was a Super Bowl championship, and they're just trying to just stay relevant, stay the same, and you think the Rams are trying to, they must have to catch up. No, the Rams actually won a Super Bowl, and they had a better offseason than we had. That's ridiculous to me, man. They're not, that says everything. How does a team that won the Super Bowl actually have a better offseason with acquisitions than a team that lost in the first round in an upset? It makes no sense, man. And what they've done is, again, they sold it to our fan base, and our fan base is just, we got to be smarter, and that's why YouTube helps out in this situation, because it's not anyone that has the fear of the organization. Y'all don't have a fear of Jerry Jones taking y'all media credentials or things of that sort and all that kind of thing. So certain things y'all can't ask, certain things y'all can't talk about. So one of the things that got me on calling y'all shows, you and Sky, is because you said something, and I'm gonna believe it until it's proven untrue. You said your voice matters, and that's why I get on here and I talk about these things, man, because these things need to be talked about, and somebody need to grab them and bring them onto the mainstream media, which I think that's what you're saying, and then it can get out to the organization. Because man, at the end of the day, we just want to win, man.
That's all.
And you know, we're not trying to, you know, these shows are cool and everything, but at the end of the day, we want to win, man. And these guys are really pulling the wool over our fans' eyes. And a lot of our fans are buying these things. Like I look around and people saying, well, we can't sign this guy. He costs too much. And this guy does it. No, man, dude, they signed Cooper Kupp and what nothing said. $3 million, 3 years, $80 million. They signed Aaron Donald, what nothing said.
Nothing.
They just handling their business in silence, man, moving in silence, putting their teams together and making runs, man. And we are the richest organization in the world. And we're over here talking about, well, you know, we gotta pay CeeDee down the line, and you know, we gotta make room. They're giving out excuses, but the problem is we're buying those excuses, man. We gotta stop buying those excuses, man. This is ridiculous, man. This team here,
fire.
We should be trying to win every year, man, and we're not. And this is ridiculous, man. We're trying to maintain. We won one of the softest divisions in the league. And it seems like we're building our team to win this division again. That's all we're trying to do. And so, man, I just wanted to call this say those few things, man. It's just real frustrating because here I am, man, and I'm looking up on the TV, and at ESPN at the bottom of the line comes Cooper Kupp signs 3 years, $80 million. He just made Donald the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. But we talking about money issues.
Yoga fire.
Hey, man, but look here, boss. I'm going to continue to listen offline, man. I just had to get that off my system, man. Talk to you later.
All right, B.
All right.
That's B-Bird, man. B-Bird say he had to cry on your boy Boss' shoulder. That's what I'm here for, you know, because I feel your pain. And it's one of those things that B-Bird and everybody else, you know, knowledge can be lonely. I'm gonna say that again. Knowledge can be lonely, you know, and that's what it is. This channel and people that follow this channel, y'all know we do a good job of really keeping up with the trends of the rumors that's affecting us, and we organized about it. So we can pull up old clips and philosophy clips, merge it with something that might happen 2 months from now and put it all together. That's what we do. But the more you accumulate that type of knowledge, the more you start seeing that it's good people that's being treated like fools because we are the people with the knowledge, you know. So it's just what it is, man. It's, you know, but at the same time, I don't want to get to the point to where we think we don't matter, because we do matter, you know. And like B-Bird say, until it's proven otherwise, I think we proven we do matter. To me, we prove we do matter. When you see the same ideas that we talking about start getting across mainstream a lot, that's because they listening. Okay, I'm not bragging, but I was in a Twitter call with Clarence Hill, and it did surprise me because I was just coming in to listen. My boy Eastside Harris say my voice matters. No, your voice actually don't matter. You one person that don't matter, bro. I'm gonna be honest. You don't. Like, only Cowboy fans matter. You don't matter, Eastside. Eastside, that's my boy. He crazy. But Clarence said, and it was, you know, it was cool, you know, because I wasn't expecting it. I was just, you know, because I met Clarence, talked to Clarence a couple of times, you know, but I was in his Twitter thing, and he said, hey, Boss Cowboy. He said, hey, man, I'm going to make you a speaker. I said, all right. So, you know, he made me a speaker in his group thing. And then he said, Boss, what's your opinion on something? And I gave him my opinion, and everybody else that was listening. And, you know, I didn't want to just kind of try to take over his group. So I just said what I had to say, and I got back quiet. And then he said, Boss, he said, I check out BossCowboySports, man. You got some good stuff going over there, UNOC. So listen, man, they listening, y'all. Trust me. BossCowboySports.
Hey, boss, I'm calling back, man. I got something I want to say.
What you got?
I want to give the fans the training camp mantra this year.
Okay.
Because that's when all this stuff gonna get put together.
Okay. What you got?
And the training camp mantra is this: if we bleed more in training camp, we're gonna bleed less this season.
Yeah.
No more
Cupcake.
I'd love to having joint practices. I hope they can get one more team to have joint practices. Put this young team to the heat. And what I mean by this, and this is what I went with my coaching philosophy, and I told my coaches, apply as much heat to this team as you can, because you need to know their temperature, their gauge of their temperature when the game starts. Apply as much heat to this team and these backups and these rookies and these people on this team that you can, because you need to know when Sunday comes around and playoff comes around what temperature you could turn them up to. Because if you don't know, you don't want to find out on playoff game when the guys come with the boom box. That's our camp mantra, and I hope that gets to the Cowboys organization. You got a young team for a reason. You want to go young, Steven? These guys can recover faster. But you need to know what they can do, because Sunday is not the time to find out. I hope that gets to everybody, boss.
Yeah.
I hope it gets out there, man. Let's bleed in this training camp. And we're going to bleed less in the season, and we'll be in the playoffs, and we'll be a formidable participant in the playoffs this year. Talk to you later, brother.
All right, now. That was Coach Moore. All right, so, yeah. And that's the same thing Coach Mack was talking about yesterday with a young team. That young teams need physical practices. But the vets, you kind of take a little bit off. And I hope they walk that with the right balance. To Coach Moore's point, you need the physicality on them young guys to make sure, like he said, they're ready for the boombox. I think there's a balance in that thought that they really trying to exercise. Because I keep hearing the mantra, remember San Fran. Somebody asked, what's the call-in number? Here's the call-in number. I keep hearing remember San Fran. I think there is some thought about that. Now, how do they go about that is what Coach Moore is talking about. What are the things you're going to do to make sure that because you bet on draft, you bet on young guys. What are you going to do to make sure those young guys are ready? That's what Coach Marv is saying, and that's why he's against cupcake training camps. He wants tougher physical training camps. That's why he's saying if you bleed early, you go bleed less during the season. Get the pain out the way, is how I say it. I say that even in my life. When I'm starting new businesses, I know it's painful. So I always work hard in the beginning so I can work not as hard later. That's just how I do it. I get the pain out the way. You know what I mean? Get them hard years before break even out the way. Grind early so you can coast later. So I got the call-in number. You ain't calling, you asked for it. So I got the call-in number. If you don't call, I'm finna conclude this show. Because y'all see my allergies starting to take off. I think, that's my immune system been kind of grinding too hard, doing too many things. Need to kind of take it easy a little bit. All right, here we go. I'll take this call. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. Who is this?
What'd you say?
I said, who is this?
Oh, this is Queen Cowboy Sports.
Okay, what's up? What's up, Queen? Talk your talk. What you got?
Yes, I just hope and pray that they keep that beast, aggressive attitude throughout the season. You know, I don't want them to start out that way and then taper off from that. And I don't know if Kellen Moore has any of that in him. I don't see that in his demeanor. So I don't know if you guys need to invite him to a party in the hood so he can get a little bit of it or something, but he needs some help, bro.
Yeah. We hope the best for Kellen. He might get it.
Yeah, I do too. For our sakes, more than his. I mean, he's getting paid.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More for our sakes than his, because I've been a Cowboys fan since I was in Pampers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's
Absolutely.
been over 55 years. And so I am like too ready for another Super Bowl. I'm, tired of them pussyfooting around and playing games.
Yeah.
And, holding on tight to their wallets and not, stepping out there and doing what we all know that they can do to elevate this team to a Super Bowl championship, not just to the Super Bowl. So what are your thoughts on that? And I'll hang up.
Okay, I got you. Well, I think it's thousands and thousands of fans that feel like you. We're tired. And thank you for calling in to make your voice matter and just putting it out there that the main thing that you stood out to me is holding on to that wallet too tight. Like, everybody sensed that we run this team based on budgets versus on playmakers that can put you over the hump. Everybody sees it, and we're tired of it. We're tired of it. We tired of hearing stuff like, we'll take Anthony Barr for the right price. No, is he the right player for the right chance to a ring? And then, we tired of you talking about money as an issue, but you wasted on Schultz. You had Emmit, Aikman, all these guys, and Jimmy Johnson all allude to Schultz was getting way too many targets in pivotal games. To the fact that the playmaker called it disorder, where he literally said, you trying to make your stars role players and your role player stars. We're tired of it. And just a great call. That's my thoughts on that call. Fantastic call. You basically said what we all feel, and that's why we are organized on putting this information out there. So what everybody got to do, in my opinion, just keeping it real, you got to join the voices. You got to put the voices out there. You got to do your part, to share, right? That's part of it. Like, we got to do our part. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Most importantly, share this content. And just doing that, hitting like, the shares, grows us. It tells YouTube that there's demand for this content, and they begin to recommend it to more Cowboy fans. The more Cowboy fans that discover this content, the more shares we get, the more we increase our chances for Mike McCarthy to win this contest that he's in versus Kellen Moore philosophy. Because I'm rooting for you, Mike. I see you on the right side of it. We see what you're going through. Some people don't. We know you was put in between a rock and a hard place where it's your team, but you're subject to the thoughts of a young play caller. And I'm hoping and I'm praying, because you are the leader and you the one that's saying that you want the Jerry Rice role, that Kellen Moore might be humble enough to come under your leadership and begin to adjust his philosophy of systems to playmakers. Because I think if that happens, you go see the offense return back to greatness in big games and better matchups, better advantages, especially when you merge it with that D. Then I think we can take that next level. So I'm with you, Mike. I see you on the side of Emmitt Smith.
I see you on the side of the playmaker. I see you on the side of Aikman. I see you on the side of Jimmy Johnson. Just because you saying the right things and showing that you are. When you talk about matchup football and a Jerry Rice role, we understand what you're saying and we for you, man. So that's Boss Cowboy Sports, man, where your voice matter, man. We really appreciate everybody, man. Also, remember, you could also support with the Cash App. Y'all been doing a great job with them super chats. Y'all could also continue to support us through the Cash App, whatever way is most easiest for you. We appreciate either way. But that's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter, man. We gonna continue to put this content out there, and y'all stay up. Peace.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.